Hey everybody, welcome back to Headgear Garage. Today's episode we're going to get back on the Honda Goldwing. I think what we're going to try to do today is we're going to try to slap some of the ugly off of that thing. We're going to take some of that chrome and stainless off, anything we can. Some of those lights, the thing looks like a Christmas float with all the lights on it. So let's tear into that and see how far we can get with it, see what we can get off of it, and how we can make that baby look a little better. All right, as you can see, it has a ton of extras added onto it. Things like this front bumper on here with all the chrome and the extra lights in it. These extra lights here. These ones we'll keep. These work really well. These ones we're going to see about getting rid of. We're going to see about getting rid of that. Right here, I'm going to see what I can remove from this area. I don't know how much of this I can take off. I'm hoping I can get this off. I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to try it. Either way, we'll see what we can get out of there. And then one of the last things I want to do here is these floorboards down here are just atrocious. And I'll show you what I'm saying. Why I say that is you put your foot on that, you can't lift your foot back up, so you got to pull your foot off to get back here to shift gears. So I'm going to go back to the stock foot pegs on both sides, because even on this side, if you put your foot up on here, you can't, it doesn't make any sense. You lift your foot off to get to the brake. Or if you had your foot here, right on the foot peg. So we're going to go back to foot pegs. I have the original foot pegs for it. So since I have them, let's put them on and see how they do, right? Well, I mean, to get some of the chrome knocked off of it. Then we're going to tear into seeing about how to get rid of some of this stuff up here so I can get down in here, because I want to replace all of these fuel lines here. I don't know if you can see them or not, but all these fuel lines that are in here, I don't know what. I see a filter down there, inline filter. I want to get in there, and to do that, I'm sure I got to remove all this. All right, so there's I don't know, not really going to be able to see it, but there's two 10 millimeter bolts holding this bracket, this bumper on them. There's two on each side, so let's get in there and see if we can't get in there and get them off of there. We have to disconnect this one wire. Wrench on there the right way so I can loosen them instead of tightening them. Oh boy. At least they're not loose. Okay, let's try again. There we go. Come back and forth a little bit. I'm going to have to take that front wheel off. Whew. I'm not gonna lie. You want to take that front tire off of a Honda Goldwing in 1984, you had better be prepared to put some work in. Good night. You gotta take everything apart. Everything was connected and jammed, and I got brake calipers off, brake brackets off. Oh my God, and these silly things are wired on, and this is in the way. You can't get it, nothing wanted to slide apart, so yeah, they're not going back. See ya with those. Best of luck to you on your adventures. All right, so at least now I got this side out. Now I can work on getting this side out. Holy Moses, sandals. That was terrible. I am worn out. There. Anyway, enough complaining. Let's get pieces and parts picked up here, or I'll never find them again. Alright, let's take that back off. They need to be shorter. Alright, let's see if we can find some shorter ones. Okay, we're going to run in there a little bit here and get those bolts I need to put the front fender back on the front tire, but I've got to just clean up yet on that fender now. But before I do that, let's take this lower fairing off. See if we can get that lower fairing off of there. Try to figure out where all this wiring is, because the next thing I'm going to take off is these lights anyway. Which means I have to unbolt this light. Don't look like, I think they're, no, they're not wired together, and I can tell. They don't look like it. Like two separate wires going in there. So yeah, let's take this apart. Looks like I need Phillips, another 10 millimeter, another Phillips, probably really not Phillips, but yeah. Alright, so what we're doing here is this is power coming in to these two switches. I already disconnected. That's one here. This first switch out here was hooked was for all that stuff I just took off up there. This one here goes out somewhere else. Not really sure where. Alright, I got some updates. You remember? Started here. As I said, we had this switch here, this first switch right here, was the powered all this stuff I just took off the front. And then I said the second switch, this wire here, I didn't know where it went, so I started tracing it, and you see it comes up in through the gas filler station area, and then I exploded everything apart. So it comes back through here, right here, right here, goes right here, which now it goes down in underneath. So it is powering all of these lower lights. So that is our next mission. Well, that and this. We're going to take this off. This wasn't even hooked up. This is just a loose wire back here with no power coming to it. So we're going to take that off of there. Kind of clean that off. I'll be honest with you, I took that upper luggage rack off, and it's starting to look more like a street glide, which, you know, I'm a Harley guy, I love my street glides, but either way, it'll go back on. I took the antennas off, got all the covers I easily can pop off. That thing comes off with 4 bolts, which it's now sitting over there on the floor, and I got the seat out of here, which if anybody has one of these, they bolt right here on each side, and then you have to reach down in here, and there's a safety and a latch that you have to hoist up in the air, and then you can see it hooks down in here. The seat slides in there and it clips on somehow or another. I don't know, it took me a little bit, but I figured it out. And now we got to clean this mess up before we put it all back together. But either way, let's get back to the wiring issues. These right here, these wires here all go into that upper luggage box, tour pack, and they operate all the lights on the tour pack, which I'm going to reconnect all those and rewire inside that box because it's a mess in there. But yeah, these are the power and ground wires here for that. So, and I got them all labeled out, color coded, so I know, because they're all the same color. So I got them all color coded out so I know where to plug them back in at once I get up there. And now let's climb underneath this bad boy and see if we can't figure out where that main wire comes in and how to get that whole mess off of there. All right, we got a few more updates. Trying to get this bar off. You have to take the side bag off. Then you have to take this light loose. Then you have to peel the gasket out of the way because everything is behind it. And there we go. And then of course it's old enough that it's a flathead. What it's doing is, and I'll show you here real quick, is it is just, I don't know if you can see it or not, just holding this right here. You ever heard me see it? Just holding this little piece right here. It's held by that Phillips head, or that straight screw right there. And that should, hopefully, be the only thing holding. Well, yeah, there we go. Now I got to repeat this process on that side. Let's go over there. Two bolts here and that bolt there, and that should free this whole old assembly up. And then I gotta take this light off because it doesn't work anyway. We got this off. I just took a Sawzall and just cut that thing right off of there. I wasn't messing around with those rusty bolts doubled up like that. That's just more than I wanted to deal with. So let's take this contraption here off. Okay, she's out. So yeah, she's getting there, little at a time. I think it's gonna be a lot lighter, a lot more fun. Okay, we just got back from town. I ran in there. I got new. Well, all right. Just ran into town and I got 3 new bolts. No, just kidding. We got 4. I found it. Now we got 4 new bolts for inside the fender here. I got a little Loctite to go on them now. Let's see if we can get them in. These hopefully are not too long. it's the next day. I did do a couple things off camera last night. I finished pulling out wiring for the for that whole bumper system that was around the bottom here. I'll show you in a minute. I pulled all that old wiring that was existing out of there. I did take this wire that goes to the tour pack and wrapped it all together, cleaned it up, and put it in a loom here, try to protect it a little more. Today's goal is we're going to clean up these pipes the rest of the way. I couldn't get to them before because obviously tour packs and side bags and all that stuff was in the way. So we're going to clean that up, clean up that hub a little bit. And then we're going to get back up here, get these lights off on both sides, and get that wiring pulled out of there. And see if we can figure out what these two switches, one of them's for those lights. I think they're both for those lights, but I can't remember for sure. So we're gonna figure out these switches and delete the wires we need to, and leave the ones we want to keep. Start by cleaning this stuff up. All right, I'm happy enough with that for now. We're going to get polishing on this anyway, so let's move up and do these lights. Let's get this panel here off. So I need a 10mm and a fuse. Man, how did the guy get that in there? He must have been obviously fed a piece of wire through there first, but geez. Okay. Now goes over to the other side. We're gonna leave that dangle so I can polish that a little easier. Now, put that here so it's not dangling. Over to this side. Okay, we got a little bit more updates. We got the lights off that were hanging down here. I wasn't going to, but I ended up taking the big driving lights off too. Along with the amber lights that were on there, just trying to clean it up a little bit more. So we took them off to see how it'd look. Kind of like it, so we're gonna leave them off. Yeah, and I did pull all the wiring out. Still got to disconnect this last wire connected is nothing but the ground wire for these switches. but I did pull all the power out. This is actually the power wire. I still have to pull it back and disconnect it from wherever it's connected to power at. Yeah, that should be, this wire here is power. So we're going to get those pulled out. I may end up, just going to end up leaving these switches on here, even though they're not going to do anything, but I don't have a way to neatly cover the holes anymore. I don't have those original panels. So yeah, let's keep moving. Let's see if we can figure out where these wires get to, and then we'll be able to start some polishing here and reassembly. Okay, so that power wire from down below I just showed you is right here. I just cut the double end off of it, but it's right here, comes right up. It's connected into the fuse panel right here. That's it right there. So I'm going to take that screw out, pull that one off. Again, I don't have a battery in this right now, so there's no risk of me hitting any grounds and making any shorts here. So other wire missing, gone out of there. All right, we've got all the wiring sorted out, I think. Got all the scrap wires pulled. So let's clean this stuff up, since I wasn't able to do this before. Okay, we got the back all polished up as good as we're going to anyway. I mean, probably looks really good on camera actually, but it's not anything special. Just cleaned the crud and stuff off of it, got the rust off of it. We have put this old girl on a major leg diet. That goes back on. Obviously the seat goes back on. All of that does not go back on. So that is that old fender thing right here, this thing here. This is that old fender that went around the lower luggage. There's those big driving lights and the small little amber lights, that big homemade tow hitch thing for the back, those disc brake covers, a little tail light thing with a mud flap on it, that front mud flap, front bumpers down in there. All that crap's gone, not going back on. She looks a lot leaner and meaner now. This was the shield, the guard for the radiator on the front here. It was stainless. It was mounted right here. Yeah, it was mounted on there. It was stainless. It was kind of rusty because it, you know, it gets a lot of stones chips, so it had some rust in it. Plus, I just kind of wanted it to disappear, so I just sanded it down, scuffed it up real good, primed it, and then I hit it with a matte black finish paint, which is obviously still drying because it's still shiny. But then we'll put that back on, and it should pretty much disappear under there. As I said, we're going to get the side covers back on, get the seat back on, start bolting all the other plastics back on it now. My next big adventure with this thing is right here. I believe, you can't really see it. It's right there. Is the that's the rear brake cylinder. Doesn't matter how hard you push on it, you can spin that tire. So I don't have any rear brakes. So I think this thing is just, the seals are just bad in it, so it's not building any pressure. So it's not putting any fluid to that rear drum, or that rear disc. So we're going to take that apart. Obviously this fluid needs changed too. I should check. I don't even know if I checked it. Maybe there isn't any fluid in it. Oh no, it's got plenty of fluid in it. I need a rag. Doesn't look the best, but it's there. So we're going to get that thing torn off there somehow. As with everything on this bike, it's easy. It's all easily accessible. You don't have to tear 3 things off to get one or anything like that. That brake fluid off. Don't need that eating into anything. Alright, so yeah, that's our next big mission. It looks like, feeling it right, it looks like this bolt here, that bolt there, and that bolt there, and that thing should come right out of the back. Yeah, that's famous last words. I can disconnect the line here to drain all the fluid out. The line's looking a little suspicious. I don't know. For now, let's get this thing back together. Crap. Gotta take this back off, because that seat's gotta go on first. Here's all the scrap parts we took off. You see, there's those lights I was talking about. I even forgot. We took those big stainless steel disc brake covers with the lights in them off too. That was part of the reason we took the front tire off. Big mud flap off the back of the front fender we took off. The other light. The stainless around here, which I still have to clean all this goop off. There's all this stuff on here. I got to clean that off yet from pulling those things off. This big old bumper. Took that hitch off of there, and the mount for it was some homemade job. This is just another light that was mounted on the back. Rear mud flap. Yeah. We took all that off, leaving us with what I think is a much cleaner look. There's things, you know, that are added on. These are add-ons. Can't take them off or I'll have little holes everywhere. I would actually prefer not to have this on here, but again, can't take it off because of the holes. But yeah, I'm happy with it. Like I said, you saw the big stainless discs that were covering the brakes up. Just a look thing, I didn't care for them. Took the deer whistles off. Got to clean that up yet. But I think that's going to do it for this video. If you made it this far in, I appreciate you staying and watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider hitting that like button. Also, consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. Both go a long way towards helping the channel. Neither one will cost you anything. I appreciate it either way. Thanks for watching. Tim, Headgear Garage. We're out. Hope to see you on the next one.